And breathe, Jane.
Yes.
And breathe. You've got your water.
We're here now.
We've got a machine. You've got hopefully all your prep, because there's a fair few bits.
We'll see.
That doesn't mean this make is difficult. It is deceptively easy, actually.
It is, yes.
But there are lots of bits, which
Yes.
is fine.
It's like a jigsaw puzzle.
We think what we need. It's got 2 chances, hasn't it, as my mum would
Well,
say.
we'll work our way through it.
Let's just check, shall we, that we can be seen and heard. Verify it's you, says YouTube. Crikey bobs. I mean, that sounds like
it
fun.
is us, yes, honestly.
I can't do that. Saroj, can you confirm for me that YouTube's behaving itself? It wants me to confirm things. It does help when I know the password, doesn't it? Excellent news. Okay, so fingers crossed you can see us on YouTube. We can be
love
seen and
the
heard
tech,
on Facebook.
don't we?
I know.
We
can
love
be
the
seen and
tech.
heard on Facebook though. I can see Martin and Auntie Lizzie and Jimmy and Jane. They're all saying good morning.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning. So they must be able to see and hear us. I set it live. Goodo. I mean, I pressed the button, SJ, but it wasn't letting me because it wants me to verify myself. We'll do that another time, I think. Excellent. I, therefore, cannot currently see the YouTube comments. I'm going to rely on you, Saroj, to message me when our YouTubers want to chat to us, and I'll reply that way. Because it's just asking me to verify myself. What a thing. What a thing. Oh, here we go.
Love
Yes.
it.
We have viewers. This is excellent news. Sue is with us as well. Good morning. Jane. For many years, I think lots of people know, I spent time as a nail artist and educator.
Yes.
And we used to say that we'd go around looking at things with our nail eyes.
Yes.
And you look at things with your nail eyes and you go, I'm going to create that into a really tiny form and I could do this and I could do that. You do this, but you go out with your quilt eyes on, don't you?
Yes. I'm quite often taking pictures of the floor.
Yeah, this is
These
true.
little
Tiles.
tiles.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
Yeah.
But this wasn't a tile, was it?
No.
A similar thing to this
Yes.
was something else.
It was a stained glass window on a door.
It was a stained glass window on a door. I mean, what a beautiful door.
Yes.
I'd love that.
It's gorgeous.
And you saw it and you thought, oh, ha, 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 hello. I need to do something quilty with this.
Yes.
A stitchy witchy make.
I could see it because we've done stained glass before. We did a simple sort of Macintosh style rose.
We have.
But I thought that would lend itself nicely, and we haven't done it for a while, so I thought, well, let's have a refresh and something different to do.
And this looks like you've got lots of weird and wonderful pieces that you're piecing together, and you've got awkward angles and awkward seams and all that sort of stuff. But
Yeah.
you haven't, have you?
No, because it's done with bias tape, so the curves are gentle and they're easy to work with. There's a little bit of free motion embroidery. I'm going to work specifically on the face today because that's the one that's got the most intricate little bits in it. So,
but there
I'll
are ways
explain
around it anyway.
Yeah,
You've described
absolutely.
all of this in the very
Yes.
extensive instructions.
yes. I try to
stuff.
make them easy to follow. Sometimes Gemma loves me for that because there's a lot of pictures.
Yeah, that's fine. It's all good. But when it comes to, say, piecing these pieces together, you're not having to lay and stitch curved seams here.
No,
It's an
absolutely
applique
not.
project.
Yeah, it's bonded applique. Very much paint by numbers.
Very good. What's
And
not to
so,
love?
you know, stained glass is quite good because you can transfer it from any picture that you have that you think, oh, I might be able to make that. Because if you can do it with bonded applique, you could probably make it into stained glass. So it's quite an interesting project.
Colouring books as well. If you saw something
Yeah,
in there,
nice
that'd be
simple
really-
shapes, yeah.
But you're going to teach everyone the technique today.
Yeah.
The kit that you have got here, we get the bias tape included, fabrics, calico, so that's the background, that's the backing. We will explain all of this. Basically, all you're going to need is your threads and your basic sewing equipment and some wadding, isn't it?
Yes,
Some
yeah.
interfacing. So we have a fully inclusive kit there, but we do have the bias tape as well separately, should you wish to purchase that. Because you might have a project you want to do yourself or just have some in your stash.
Well, you might
It's a
see the
useful
colours
thing.
that we've got here. And I mean, the ladies and gentlemen that were the subscribers, it's using our planes. So you might want to use some of your planes that you already have in your stash, make a different colour background. It's easy to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The kit's got everything in it that you need. So if you like a
Marvellous.
nice, let's get the project and get going, it's all
Great.
there for you.
Great, good stuff. Your mum's saying happy solstice,
Yes.
which is excellent news. Oh, and we've got cute little emojis coming in as well. Martin's very good with the cute little emojis. Well done, you. Grace says, where will I find Monday's bag pattern? Monday's bag, we've not even got it in here now, have we? But
No,
it was the
Tash
pleated
took it home with her.
bag. So the pleated bag is available in printed format. We're working on the digital. I've asked Natasha to give me the last few bits I need today to get that finalised. She has, however, got a small issue at the moment involving some electric fencing that she's gone off to attend to.
Oh dear.
Once she's back, that's her first priority. So we're hoping to get that instruction up immediately, if not sooner, today. But we shall see. Sue Langford says, good morning, Team Tash and fellow groupies. We are Team Tash. She's not here, but we are here.
We definitely are.
Morning, everyone. Morning, lovely Makes team. What is that gorgeousness behind you, Gemma? Well, I'm so glad you asked. This is coming home with me and there's none for sale. I mean, that would be how I'd want it to be. Yeah. Especially this here colourway. This is the new Anna Maria Horner.
It's rather lovely.
It is. Now, we love an echinacea here. I think we've explained before. The first bolt of echinacea that ever came in never made it to the shows because, you know, one of us had about 3 metres, another 4 metres and so on and so forth. And then we just blitzed the whole bolt and went, oh. I think there was a tiny skiddly bit left over for some half-metre heavens, but it never went cut to order because it couldn't.
No, because it's lovely.
Yeah. So we all wanted to make a frock out of it. There are 3 new stunning colourways of echinaceas. Should we get those down and have a look at them, Jane? Is that going to cause a problem?
No.
How's your shoulders today and your back?
Shoulders fine.
Good-o.
This may fall into a puddle on the floor because it's very...
Yes.
We have got it actually in half-metre pieces.
Oh, yes, we have. Okay, good point, Jane. Oh, I love it when she's being clever and sensible. Marvellous. Yes, let's put... Because we're going to have this as a half-metre heaven. This will go live at midnight. But in the interim, you have got this cut to order right now.
Look at this.
There they are. Look at that.
That is beautiful.
So we have
They've all
this
got
by the
lovely names as well, haven't they?
They
got,
do. Yes, so they're echinacea. We've got them in maraschino, which is what you see there.
That's beautiful.
Like the cherry. It's gorgeous, isn't it?
It's lovely.
Now, we are going to have this as a half-metre heaven later. Perhaps we'll just give everyone a sneaky peek at what the half-metre heaven will be. It's going with azalea.
Isn't that lovely?
Because it's correct. I will not hear anything said about this bundle.
Beautiful.
It is just how it should be. So it will be up at midnight with azalea, but if you can't wait that long, or if you want to make a frock or something bigger than a half-metre, you have got it cut to order right now in the maraschino colourway.
This is grape,
Mm-hmm.
which is rather pretty. It's got a lovely emeraldy green and then this lovely blue, because it's echinacea glow, and there's a colour in here that really does make it look like a twilight evening glow, and we've got that with amethyst.
Yep, so that's the grape colourway. Like I say, you can buy these cut to order now, or at midnight tonight, the half-metre heavens will go live. And then the third colourway is called True, which had us all singing Spandau Ballet yesterday afternoon, which was quite nice. Jane, and that one's going live at midnight with this glorious yellow that we see here. Is that Sunshine?
It is. And there's another song there, isn't there?
Yes.
So this is beautiful. This one reminds me of the Tutti Frutti Chew sweets that we used to have.
Yes, it's making me mouth-watering.
And the three of those colours together.
Yeah.
Just rather lovely.
So if you want these half-metre heavens, you cannot buy them yet. Midnight tonight they will go live. But if it is that you want to buy this by the half-metre, perhaps you want a metre piece, perhaps you want 3 metre piece, perhaps you're going to make yourself a fabulous frock, or back a quilt with it, Jane. Because there should always be as much of a party at the back as there is in the front with a quilt, I think. This
Karen, we were all having bets on which ones you might order to make a frock with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Jane, for getting those out. The other 2 fabrics that we have, they are also Anna Maria Horner. They are Sunseekers, and they are from a collection called Brave, which I like.
Yes.
And it's in day or night, so quite straightforward. This is a beautiful blue, is the day. This matches all the fabrics I've got in my garden. I've been making fabulous garden cushion with a contrast bright coloured flanged piping. Clearly one of those is going to have to make its way in amongst all the cushions. And this is the night colourway, and I just think the depth of the background against these colours, doesn't it make it pop?
It's gorgeous.
It is stunning.
I opened the day first and I was like, ooh, that's nice. Yeah. And then I opened the night and I was like, oh, I really like that one.
They are stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Gorgeous colours.
So we're not half metre heavening these. We don't anticipate these will hang around for very long.
No,
Aside
because
from anything else, we all want to buy them.
yeah, I like Gemma says they'll make great garden cushions.
They most certainly will.
I could make a lovely quilt backing with that. It's
Yeah.
just a beautiful, and I don't know if it
It's got an
shows
entire
very well on the
story
camera,
going
but
on,
it's
hasn't
got
it?
like a wave going through it, sort of like
I love
almost a
these.
stripe.
I love these as well. The way that you've got kind of an ombre effect almost with the colours. They've just
Yeah, it's
the way that
just
she's
really
put the
pretty.
colours in.
Really pretty.
It's really beautiful. Catches the eye. There's just so much to look at. I mean, if you wanted to make a really simple quilt, Jane, to be able to put that as a central panel, or
Oh gosh,
you know, the
yeah.
Lisa, we've got many Lisa patterns that
Yes.
use just blocks where
Central
you
panels,
want
yeah.
panels of fabric that's got enough going on to just put that in there without having to create a patchwork block at
No.
all. They would be brilliant
They
hero
would
pieces for
lovely.
those
Yeah,
quilts.
absolutely.
Really brilliant. And then we have plains that go with as well. So if you do want to create something like that, perhaps you've got a Lisa pattern and you think, well, I'll get some of this and use that for my big sections, but I want to put some plains in amongst as
Yeah.
colour block, just give us an email, info@Natasha makes this one here. She's very,
Love
very
it.
happy to help you shop, and she will choose you plain colours or other fabrics, perhaps bumbleberries, something
Yeah,
like that,
absolutely.
that would coordinate.
That'll coordinate. Yeah, I'm always happy to help with that.
She loves a bit of shopping.
Shopping for other
Loves
people.
a bit of shopping,
It's
personal
lovely.
shopping. It's all good. Oh, look at this. Lots of messages. This is great. Auntie Lisa says, love, love, love this fox. Mr. Fabulous Ferdinand Fox. We'll come to him in a minute. Ginny says, hope we're all planning something lovely for the summer solstice. I'm actually going to get out of the building at a sensible time today. So my daughter's bought tickets for us to take our cars to because we've got Audis, to take them to a German night. It's a German car night at the local car venue
Oh,
that she's
how
obsessed
lovely.
with. And she's arranged for them to put our two cars out on display out the front.
Lovely.
She's extraordinarily excited about this, so we're going to do
Oh,
that.
that'll be nice to do, won't it?
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Grace couldn't find the printed version. Oh, she got a bit distracted with all the lovely goodies. It happens to the best of us, to be
Yeah.
honest, Grace. But yes,
Bit of a rabbit hole down.
pleated bag, and it will come up for you. It's been selling, so I know it's definitely there. Susan, thank you very much. She says, morning, ladies. YouTube is fine. She's
Good.
watching now.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, and some of you, that might be what you want to do. Have YouTube on the big telly, sit with your laptop or your iPad or your phone with us on Facebook and chat away. That's what I used to do.
Yes.
Sue says, pretty full. Stop tempting me. The stash is currently bulging. I know, but nobody minds a good bulging
No.
stash. That's what you want, isn't it?
It's, it's insulating your house at the end of the day, and
Well,
we all need
also,
that.
Rainy day, you know you're going to have something
Yeah,
to go to.
there's
and that you've got
something there
to
that you
do.
can make.
Mhm. Even if it's just tidy your stash.
Yes.
Good
And
morning,
look at all the
ladies.
things you forgot you got.
I know, exactly. You do though, don't you? And then
Yeah.
it's like Christmas all over again.
You're
every
like,
time
oh
you
yes,
look,
I
you're
can
like,
make that.
oh, look at this beautiful thing I've got. Anne says, good morning, ladies. Joining you live whilst I have a cup of tea. We'll catch up with the rest later. And you can. Our demos are here. You can get them. You've got 3+ years worth, 3.5 years worth now
Nearly, yeah.
of demos. You can go back, find them on YouTube or on our website. Catch-up pages are there. So enjoy. Talking of joys, Joy Hall says, good morning, Gemma and Jane.
Morning.
Martin is suggesting biscuits. You're incorrigible. It's just how it is always with you around. There's always a biscuit or something mentioned. And Ginny says she used a 1/2 metre heaven with the echinacea and a lovely soft green plain. I know exactly which one you mean. She did it for her Japanese knot bag.
Yes.
It's another of Natasha's great patterns.
Lovely idea, yeah.
She did it for her sister after a heart procedure. The echinacea symbolising healing and the green for the heart chakra.
Oh, how
How
lovely.
gorgeous. Unsurprisingly, she loves it.
Yes.
Who wouldn't? What a beautiful
What
gift.
a lovely thing to do.
And the Japanese knot bags are really nice, straightforward make as well.
Yeah,
It
they
looks
are.
really effective.
Yeah, they're so pretty.
Exactly. And the patterns are there for you to shop as well. We keep all our patterns up in printed format and digital. If you purchase a digital pattern, it's that little bit cheaper. And if we ever make any amendments to it, a new version will automatically upload and get sent out to you immediately online. So always good to know. Jane says, good morning, ladies. I haven't been able to sit and watch you live for a few months, but happy to catch up with you today. We're happy to have you with us. Jackie says she can't find the kit. Oh, my word. Jackie, which kit? Ferdinand Fox? I can see him. So if you are looking for today's products, and I will post a link in Facebook. I managed to do one on YouTube this morning before it decided I didn't know who I was. Then you just need to go to our website, natashamakes.com, click the Watch Live page or the Workshop Wednesday link, and just scroll down, click View All, and you will see the products there. You start out with our Juki machines at the top. There are a couple of X-Dem machines on there. They are absolutely rare as hen's teeth, so if you are looking to get one, it's the cheapest you're going to find them. They will never come in at that price again. And then scrolling down a bit further, I can see fabulous Ferdinand Fox pattern, and yes, you're quite right. Where's the kit? Don't mind me, everybody. I'll just tap away. I will sort that out.
It's there in the background.
Imminently.
It's there in the background. I expect there's just a button needs clicking, and there it will be.
100% is a button that needs clicking, and there it will be. I will sort that for you immediately, if not sooner. What else have we got here? Julia France is with us. Joe Stanchard is with us. Gosh, it's lovely to have everybody this morning.
It's nice. They're all to be here.
Sylv says, stop with the temptation, la 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 la. I'm not listening. Oh, we've got someone making soup. That sounds fabulous. Jimmy's making soup in the slow cooker.
Nice.
Very nice.
Lovely.
Sue Langford says, what time do you want me round? And he says, I'll be ready for lunch tomorrow. Take you that long to get there, or maybe a bit longer, because Jimmy's to the side of the world. And yes, hello to our international viewers as well. You may not be here in the UK and able to purchase our beautiful fabrics, but our digital catalogue is available to you. So please do make use of the digital patterns.
Lovely.
And we love to hear from everybody.
We do. It's always nice to know that there's other people watching.
Absolutely. Absolutely. YouTubers, I will at some point find a way to chat to you. I'm going to work that one out while Jane shows everybody, I think, the rest of the half-metre heavens.
Of the half-metre heavens.
Does that sound all right, Jane?
Yeah, I think that would be lovely.
Good-o, and I shall press a few more buttons that need to be pressed.
There's some really lovely fabrics in here.
I mean, we don't get anything else, do we?
Well, no.
If
we don't like. If Natasha doesn't like it, she doesn't buy it. It's a good ploy. Ruby Star. Beautiful fabrics here. This is the turnip one, and we've got that with magenta. That's rather lovely. That's a bit of fun, isn't it? You can make
totally
placemats or a nice bag with that. That's lovely. So that's with magenta. These will go live at midnight tonight, so they're not available yet, although we do have half-metre heavens available. Some from last week and previous weeks. They don't always all sell out. This is a nice piece of fabric. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
This is rather lovely, this is. And at first I didn't realise, but it's a Halloween print from Lewis and Irene, Cast a Spell.
Clever, isn't it?
But if you look at that from this angle on the camera, it looks rather nice, sort of lacy pattern. There's a bit sort of like a flower, maybe. But then if we go close up, can we do close up, Jen?
Of course we can, yeah. Just need to be near the screen, bear with. There we are.
There we go. Can you see that? There's bats here. This bit here. Where am I? This bit here. This is a bat. And you've got moons. Don't look, Mum, it's a spider.
Does she not like spiders?
No, she's agoraphobic. Arachnophobic, rather. So it's got lots of interesting elements in there that you don't notice straight away. That's rather lovely. And
clever, isn't it?
It's an orange. It's like
really nice pumpkin-y orange, I think.
Yes, not a primary orange, a nice soft orange.
It's not a Tony it's not a Tony. I'm just trying to find the button, Jane. I was looking at it.
Yeah.
You know when you're looking, thinking, which one?
So it's a lovely soft colour.
It's not a Tony the Tiger orange. It's more of a sort of, pumpkin-y, browny toned, autumnal orange, I say.
It's nice and soft, almost golden, really.
Beautiful.
And we put that with black, nice and classic. So if you wanted to make your tiny treat bags, ready for trick-or-treating, or a larger tote bag, I think this is a sort of bag that you could use all year round, because it's not obviously Halloween. It's not, and also I think it would be really popular for, and who doesn't, the Harry Potter fans amongst everybody. You want something a bit spooky to make something. Look at that. Nice bit of gum leaves on black.
Oh, I'm going to
A
say
bit
good
of
morning
Lisa
to Cynthia.
Chandler.
Apparently Cynthia said hello on YouTube and I can't, of course, see it at the moment. So good morning, Cynthia.
Morning, Cynthia. And that's with our chartreuse. I love the gum leaves. Of course, it's a Lisa Chandler fabric, so it's got this beautiful gold metallic element to it. It's a really lovely print, that is.
Beautiful.
With our chartreuse.
It's a classic, that one, and that was the focal point of the Elliot's Garden quilt, wasn't it? And that was a lovely mate.
Now this is Tim Holtz,
Yes.
and it's multiplication tables, which is exactly what it is.
For the mathematician in your life.
This would make great pencil cases or bag linings and book covers, or a book cushion even. And we put that with our silver mink.
We have.
Which just picks up the sort of sepia tones on the fabric. It's got a very, very faint graph print on it with the numbers and the letters printed over the top. It's classic Tim Holtz fabric. Slightly faded in areas, distressed look. So don't think when you get your fabric there's a fault on it. It's not. It's the way it is.
That's Tim Holtz
That's
all over.
Tim Holtz all over.
Amazing.
Got a lovely bit of Lewis and Irene here. This has got elephants and hippos. This is small things, wild animals. And then we've put some of our light grey with that just to pick up the grey elements within there.
Lovely.
It's really cute. You can make like some bags or a book cushion with that. That would be lovely.
It's so cute, that one, isn't it?
Yeah,
I like
it's
that
really
one. It's
pretty.
really gender neutral as well. That's a really nice choice, isn't it?
Now we've got the last bit. There's only 3 of these, so it's going to be fastest fingers first. This is the Sue Penn Posies Multi. This was very popular.
I hardly feel we need to mention this one, Jane. This will fly out at a rate
will.
of knots, no doubt, like the rest of it did.
And then this is with sapphire, which just picks up those blues beautifully. And the sapphire then makes the yellows pop on there. So it's a really vibrant fabric, this is. It's going to make great beach bags and things like that.
Anyone who's wondering why we still got this, it's simply the case that we've cut the half-metre heavens that were ordered when we placed this one before, and then we've gone, oh, we've got 3 left.
Yeah.
3 units left on the roll. That's the end of the bolt. That will be it. We will not have any more of this one.
Yes.
So, but yeah, you're right. Beach bags, Jane, that would be stunning. It's just, there's so
Garden
much going on
cushion,
in there,
you know, you
isn't
can
there?
make a lovely
Yeah.
garden cushion with that, couldn't you?
It's just a lovely, bright, cheerful
It
make. And I
is.
just think, you know, if I was making infinity scarves, that one involved would just be stunning.
I'm just saying, and I, you know, don't want to spread rumours and gossip or anything, but that's a little bit bigger than a half-metre. Just
That is
saying.
a little bit, that
Just
one,
saying.
isn't it? You might get that one if you order it, everybody. Somebody got a bit over generous, didn't they? Must have been the end of the
Yeah,
roll.
must have been the last bit, and thought, "Oof, I'm not cutting that bit off."
And actually,
This-
that's worthy of note. If ever you get a piece and it looks like it's creased up and, you know, not looking its very shiny best, it may well be the end of the bolt.
Yeah, and
we will just give you the extra.
we don't mess around. We just
No.
chuck it in, because why spend time cutting that like half a centimetre off
No
or whatever?
point.
There's no point. And as it gets towards the end of the bolt as well, it does get a bit wrinkled where it's been on the
Yeah,
bolt.
it's been rolled
So,
on. Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
we didn't really have time to iron it for you.
No.
This is Fire and Ice. This is P&B Textiles. Just this fabric, I love it. When it came in, I was like, oh, there's not enough to do anything quilty with this, but I just adore it. And this is with our Buttercup yellow plain, which just works so beautifully with that. There's so many things you can do with this, but I really think that this would make a great lining for a bag. So when you open your bag, people will go, oh wow, look at that.
Nice.
There's nothing like a wow lining in a bag. Now this one, again, this is the last bit of the bolt. There is only 2 of these. Look at that. This is Dashwood Fabrics. This is Beth and Janine Blossom Days. Look at that. I just love. Can we just go close up on this?
Of course we can.
Because
No
there's a
problem.
little turtle in here and he's got such a happy face.
A turtle. Oh my gosh, I've never seen him.
Look,
I've
there
looked
he
at this
is.
fabric a lot. How have I missed
He's
him?
just so cute and he's got the happiest little face.
How have I missed him? I've looked at this
And
fabric.
I love the panda. The panda's gorgeous.
Oh, just beautiful.
I love Beth and Janine's designs. She's just got a lovely little quirkiness about her, and there's always a lovely floral detail.
There is.
Throwing all my stuff on the floor. I'm not going to be able to find my pieces later.
You've literally thrown all your pieces
Yeah.
all over the floor. If Jane's grovelling around on her hands and knees during the show, I'm just going to say...
We've put this with our fuchsia, which just works beautifully with the teal and the pinks that are in the design. But as I say, it's limited. There's 2 pieces left, and that's it. As Inga would say, you've had your chance.
Exactly.
So fastest fingers first on that one. We know you ladies that wait till a minute past midnight.
Or a minute to midnight.
Yeah,
You're
you
not
there?
daft, you've noticed. You've noticed these quite often go live at 11:59. Don't think I don't know.
This is some lovely Anna Marie Horner. This is called Welcome Home. This is just the most beautiful, vibrant fabric.
Another song there, Jane. I'm really holding it in.
Yes.
It's a great one as well.
Yeah, it is.
Especially after a few sherbets. We love that one.
And this is with our aqua because it just works beautifully with that background. There's an iridescence to the yellow that Anna Maria has used on this fabric that just doesn't come across on the camera. It's so vibrant, it's so fresh, and it's so happy. It's a really happy fabric. It just makes you smile. I love it.
Like a happy fabric.
We do love a happy fabric. Again, there's not much stock of that one either. Four units of that.
I've got that. That's one of my garden cushions. In fact,
Yes.
I might put that on the product page so people can see.
Yes.
But I've done a cushion in that. And I've made sure they've all got contrast, brightly coloured flange. This, can I just say, and I feel it needs to be said, when these fabrics came in, this fabric collection, I had seen this one on the screen and had gone, not really sure about the colourway. But when it arrived, it's very annoying because you really can't see on the screen. Looking at all the fabrics in that collection, and I loved them all, this was by far and away the most stunning in real life.
I just adore this fabric.
But you can't see on a screen how beautiful it is, which
And
irritates me no end.
it's a beautiful piece of Tula Pink, and as usual, she's got a really good title for it. It's called A Good Hair Day.
Amazing. I love her titles for
Shall
her
we go
fabrics.
close up just to
Of
show
course we
everybody
can.
these
And I really
beautiful
hope you
lions?
can see, but it's the colourway just somehow...
Look
there
at
we go.
him. Is he not gorgeous? Could you just...
It does look like a neon pink on there, and it's not a neon pink.
No, it's...
It's a lot more corally than that.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of our azalea, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful fabric, as always.
Very annoying that it's not able to be seen properly on a screen.
Tudor Pink fabric, beautiful quality, lovely base cloth fabric. And then we've put that with our azalea. Because
Stunning.
it'd be rude not to, really. That is
Excellent.
gorgeous. And then we've got a little bit of the coastal, Small Things Coastal, the puffins and seagulls. Got it the right way around. I don't think there is a right way, actually. It's a nice multi-directional fabric. But it's got little fishes. They look like dots on the fabric, but actually when you look at them closely, they're little fishes. And we've put this with sunshine. It just picks up the gull's beaks and feet. Just that little pop of yellow in there. You're going to have good fun with that. Nice beach bag.
Beautiful.
So that is our half metre heavens for this week. As we said, they go live at midnight tonight, or maybe a minute to midnight if you're quick.
Wow, exactly.
Some of them are low stock, so you'll have to be quick.
Yep.
Because
Yep,
they are literally the bolt ends.
As always.
Yeah,
This
right.
is how
I'm
it
just
is.
going to dip down
You're
here.
going to go down the floor, aren't you?
Yeah, I've just got to get these
She's dropped
bits.
all her bits and bobs all over the floor. I mean, we're nothing if not real here at Natasha Makes. I'm just going to say that. That's just how it is.
I will probably
What
come
have
to
I
it and
missed? I'm
go,
being asked. What have I missed? You've missed Jane
Oh.
throw all her bits all over the floor. Claire, you've missed the fact that it's fabulous Ferdinand the Fox today. The stained glass Deco Rose as well. I'm just getting that kit up once finalised a few details.
we don't have any more of the batiks
No.
that I used originally. So I've
Correct.
put together a kit, and I'll show you that in a moment, of our planes.
Yes.
So that is going to be available
Yeah.
continually.
Imminently and continuously is our
Yes.
idea, because it's in planes. The fabrics here, Claire, if you missed those earlier, we have 3 new colourways, brand new, of the Anna Maria Horner Love Always Echinacea fabrics. They are stunning. Available by the half metre now, but at midnight there are some half metre heavens, so you can watch that later. You'll be able to see what those look like. And then these 2 stunning Again, new fabrics. These are just cut to order. We haven't got those on the half metre heavens. So if you want those, they're all available now, cut to order.
We felt that you probably would want more than just a half metre of it because it's such a beautiful, bold print, and to get the full effect of it, I think you need a minimum of a metre, really.
I mean, you can see where your pattern repeat is, so
if you
know you are going to get.
If you lift the blue up, Gemma, you can see the night time. You get the full. That's like half the width of the fabric, but you can see how bold and beautiful that fabric is, and
a big old piece is going to make a difference.
I think you really would want a big chunk of it.
And yes, now we've already said, Karen came to mind. She said, "Morning girlies, just having a sneaky watch while I'm at the hairdressers for a little colour enhancement." Here's your colour enhancement, Karen. This is what it is.
Yeah, this is where you do.
She said she's going to catch up later. Karen, we really want you to make a frock out of, well, probably both of these actually, because no doubt you've got shoes and a handbag that would look fantastic.
Yeah.
But yes, Natasha's on. She says, "Please make a dress out of the new Anna Maria fabrics." It's not just us then, is it? Victoria Pete's with us. She says, "Good morning. I can't watch for long today as I have to take Charlotte to the physio. We'll catch up later." Very important message then. Happy birthday for tomorrow, Jane.
Oh, thank you,
Jane's
Victoria.
Birthday tomorrow, which is marvellous. Natasha says, "Morning all. Horses fed and dog walked. Quick paddle and having a lovely watch."
Super duper.
Natasha was saying about the Good Hair Day fabric. It's like his hair's being caught in the morning sunrise.
Yes.
It really is. But the colour work on that, irritatingly, a pink is always tricky to get across on screen. But it is
it's just
beautiful corally
gorgeous
colour that we just can't get any camera to pick up correctly.
No.
If you buy it, you will love it. I think that's pretty much guaranteed.
Absolutely.
Claire says, "Oh, I feel my bank balance getting depleted." Good morning all, says Leslie Freeman. Anne says, "What's the difference between the bias tape other than the value, the length?" They're both a 6mm bias tape. We'll talk about that in a moment.
Yes.
They're different brands. So you've got Clover and you've got So Easy, but the one is a 5-metre roll, the other is a 10-metre roll. Jimmy liked Natasha's fun bags yesterday. Yes, if you missed out on Natasha's lovely big fun bags, we have those. I'll make sure that they are prominent and available for anyone to grab should they wish.
If you are a crafter,
yeah,
and you do all the crafts like most of us do, card making, embellishment, all those things, you are wanting to get one of those bags. I saw them put.
One?
Yeah, well,
I think
you need
more.
more
One for each hand.
Yes, I
pair
saw
of
them
lovely
being
big
put
fun
together,
bags.
and I was like, "You're putting those in and those." It's like,
you want to grab a pair of Natasha's lovely big fun bags in your hands. That's what I want to say.
yes.
Yeah, exactly right.
You don't want to miss out on those. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything else, but you'll be sad if you miss them.
Quite right. Natasha says, "Jane, you need to keep your bits in place."
Yes, I do.
She also says that she's a fan of the fans. I wouldn't let her see this before. This and this. This is next week's show for you, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Jane's always working ahead. So, yeah, that's going to be a bit stunning. Perhaps we'll talk about that at the end of the show. But yes, this is
not
a
my
sneaky
pattern.
peek.
It's not my pattern. It's a Makawa pattern.
That's absolutely fine.
But
You've
it
done
lent
beautiful
itself
things with
beautifully
it.
to some of the fabrics that we've got.
Good morning, Leslie, as well. I'm going to go overhead, Jane. You can show this lovely latest kit. I just need to tweak and press a few buttons and it will be live imminently.
This is the sample that I made. And of course you can, as we've said before, you can always go back and find the original demonstration of this particular pattern.
You can. And I'll make sure that's on the product page as well.
This is the kit we've put together. You'll get 1/2 metre of Bondaweb.
Oh, sorry, Jane, very, very quickly. The demonstration, just in case you're watching back on YouTube, you don't want to check the website. Jane's original demonstration for this make was the 8th of September 2021. Crikey bobs.
Yes.
Doesn't that make us sound like we've been around for ages?
Yeah.
So there we go. I've said it. It's date stamped. Anyone who wants to watch the demo, that's where you're going to find it on our catch-up pages.
So in this kit, you've got way more fabric than you actually need. So you could probably make 2. You've got 1/2 metre of Bondaweb. You've got a long 1/4 of plain black. Now that's used for the binding.
Yeah.
It's not used for the bias tape. That's just used for the binding. Then you've got a 1/2 metre piece of the white, which is the background. Then we've got fat 1/8 of a dark, medium and light pink, which is used in the rose. We've got a fat eighth of our corn yellow, a fat eighth of sky, and a fat eighth of sage. Those are the greens, turquoise and yellow that I've used here. And then there's a 5 metre pack of bias tape.
There's a lot in there, Jane.
There is.
Half a metre of Bondweb, a metre of white, 6 fat eighths of the colour.
Yeah, so
palette.
that's
A long quarter of the black.
3/4 of
The
a
bias
metre.
tape. There's a lot of fabric there.
Yeah.
Amazing. And Jane, it'll just be a case of adding a little bit of wadding then.
Yes.
And you've got
And
what
your
you need.
backing. I mean, I snuck a little piece of William Morris on the back of
very
mine,
swish.
upside down, admittedly, but
I
who cares?
think what we said originally was your metre would give you enough to back it in white if you wanted to.
It's a 1/2 metre, but
Oh,
that
is it
would
half metre
yeah.
you put in? Okay, that's cool.
That
That
will-
makes more sense.
that will do your backing as well.
Nice.
Or you can make
Amazing.
2 fronts.
Oh, a half metre will give you front and back.
Yeah.
Incredible. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So you would have enough of your plains as well, your colour to do your front as well. You're probably just going to need some more bias tape,
Yes.
which again, you can buy that separately. But you could get this kit, buy some more bias tape, make 2.
Yeah.
Amazing, Jane. Love that. Brilliant.
So
Good-o.
there we go. That's the kit for the rose
Yep, Deco
stained
Rose.
glass.
And like we say, if you didn't see that demo, if you want to watch it back, I mean, let's be honest, it's a good old while since we did that, then September 2021, you will find it right there, waiting for you, winking at
I'm
you,
going to get
Wednesday
Ferdinand
the 8th. Oh, yes,
off the
get
back
Ferdinand
here.
down. He needs this moment, doesn't he?
Oops. Just made the corner of the quilt top flop. There we go. There we are. So this kit, again, is very generous with the fabrics.
Lovely.
So you've got plenty enough. You're going to get a piece of calico in here, which I'll explain the method in a minute, but you'll use it for the base of this, and you should have enough to do the backing.
Mm-hmm. Marvellous.
Then you've got a metre of Bondweb, because there are quite a lot of pieces in there. You've got your 3 oranges. Now these are long quarters. We've got our terracotta, paprika and orange. And then the blues. This is our Hawaiian,
It's a gorgeous colour, that, isn't it?
sapphire,
And that one.
jade
And that one. Jane.
and aqua.
Lovely.
And a piece of white. It's a long quarter of white.
Stunning.
You're going to get a fat quarter of black, and that's for the binding around the edge,
Yes.
which you're going to need to cut on the bias, and we'll talk about that later, which is
Okay.
why it's a fat quarter and not a long quarter.
Okie dokie.
If we'd put a long quarter in, you'd have had a lot of joins in it.
Oh, we don't want that.
And then we've chucked in a scrap of green just for his
Okay.
eyes. So it may not be as neatly cut as that. Just,
Okay.
you know, warning you, if you get your kit and it's a bit of a wonky piece, it's still a good piece and there's plenty in there to do. And then you've got the clover fusible bias tape. It's a 10 metre roll.
It is.
So that should do
Beautiful.
everything. So that's your kit for our fabulous Ferdinand Fox.
Good-o.
Right, let's do some demonstrating, shall
Oh, yeah, Jane, let's. That'd be super fun. This isn't a difficult piecing job. I just need to reiterate that
we?
again.
No.
It is not the case that you are going to have to join all of those curvy seams all over the shop.
No, there's no
None of that.
there's no piecing in
no
this.
piecing at all.
Let me just go through the instructions with you,
Oh, yes, please.
because you've got quite a lot of templates in here and I need to explain how you put it all together. So you've got your instructions, everything that you need to know on there, the basic step-by-step instructions of how it all goes together. And there he is. In your templates, you will have 5 pieces that look like this. And you need to tape them together. Now this is your template for tracing it onto your background backing fabric. Now, what I suggest you do, I've done a dashed line here and here. On this one, I would keep the dashed lines, but on this one, I would trim the dashed line on there and lay that on top of the dashed line, so that it lines up with the lines underneath.
Okay.
So you get a continuous line. And then I would trim this one down and tape that, lining it up, so that you don't have this white piece over there. And then again, the same on here, I would trim this bit down and tape that on top of there. And I would trim that and across there possibly, and tape that onto there. So that is your full template. And you can see here there's numbers in each of the shapes. These numbers then correspond with your templates there. So that says white template. So that's all the templates you need to cut from your white fabric. Then you've got your orange, and on the reverse you've got your black and your green. You only need that little bit of green for the eyes.
It's just a bit of tracing, isn't it?
Yeah. Then you've got your orange, your medium orange, which is the paprika, and then your dark orange, which is the terracotta. Then you've got your light blue, and you will have your medium light turquoise, which is the jade. But obviously I've just named them like this. So you've got a light and medium light, and then you've got a medium and then a blue. So you've got your medium blue there and then your dark blue. Now on this one you'll see there's some more templates. It's just that I couldn't fit them all onto the one sheet. So for the medium light, you've got all of those and that one. And then for the dark, for the medium blue, all of those and those two. And then for the dark blue, and that one.
Lovely.
So I've tried to keep it all together. There's a join. Again, there's a join in this one. Again, I would cut it. When you're doing this, this is for you to trace your templates onto your Bonder web. Now obviously Bonder web is in reverse, so yes. I've reversed these templates so that when you put them onto the back and your backing fabric, you'll then be able to, they'll be in the right orientation for your fabric. So for the one with the joining, what I would suggest you do, now I did bring a pencil in, yes I did. Make sure you've got a length of your Bonder web and draw along here and you've got that little bit that sticks out, and this is the join here where the dashed line is. Probably not picking it up very well on the camera because I've done it in a faint line, so it's obvious it's not the cutting out edge. And then just flip that around and place that on across the join underneath, and then you can carry on drawing that shape there. Now when you draw your shapes, transfer the number on to the tracing on the Bonder web. On your Bonder web is a heat activated adhesive. You've got a paper side and a rough side. The rough side is your adhesive. So you trace your pattern pieces onto the paper side, and then you will roughly cut around that shape and bond that onto your fabric. Now, as I said, I'm going to concentrate on the face shape. So I know that I've cut most of my face shapes out, but I just need my dark orange template, one of those. So I am going to, on my Bonder web, line that up over the top, follow that shape around, tracing it through. Oops. Try and stay on the line if you can. you'll take more time with yours. I'm going to transfer that number, corresponds with the number on my template there. I will then, did I bring my scissors with me? Brought everything else, but did I bring my scissors? Who knows? I don't want to get everything up from underneath. I don't think I did. Anyway, there's some here, isn't there?
Yes, there's all sorts of scissors kicking around. Let's have a look, shall we?
Let me just
paper. This one says paper.
They'll do.
There we are.
They'll do.
Don't use your best scissors.
Don't use your best scissors. I'm going to just roughly cut around this. Now, I would trim this, even though it's, when you do this, you'll trace all of your templates all in one go. So you'll put your Bonder web over this sheet and you'll start drawing around them. Now, if you drew that shape, you could just move it a little bit closer to the next shape. I've just given you plenty of space around the shapes, but you can pull them together so that you'll have less wastage of your Bonder web.
You do still want some space around your lines.
You do need space around.
And you told me this years ago when I first started using Bonder web, and you were like, Gemma, you do need to leave space around the edge. And I thought, when I got home, I want to save my money, I want to be as frugal as possible. And I want to cut on the line. Don't cut on the line, everybody.
Don't cut on the
She
line.
says it for a reason. Cut with space around the line.
You can see here that I've cut it with a rough edge. I can trim a little bit
so
more.
You can see it on the black. I think that might make it easier to see. There we are.
Can you see? I don't know if you can see the drawn line.
Yes, you can. Drawn line's here.
You can see my drawn line, and I've got just a bit less than 1/4 of an inch, just enough around the edge, just to give you some room. I'm just going to find my fabric that I need to do it in.
Kind of need to show it to explain it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If your fabric is all screwed up like this, give it a press first.
Give it a press, or get a friend to. You won't catch me ironing for anyone else, Jane.
I know, I'm very privileged.
Yeah, you are really, I'll be honest. Anyone else asks me to iron, they get a grimacing face and some grunting noises.
So, just place that down. Now, Tasha bought us these pressing mats. Incredible. And they've got a Teflon sheet in them as well. Now, I would recommend that you place the Teflon sheet over the top of your piece that you're ironing on. The reason that we cut around the edge and not on the drawn line is that the back of the Bonder web is like little tiny dots of adhesive that when you put your iron on, it softens the adhesive and it spreads it out.
Yes.
And so in spreading it out, sometimes the adhesive can come through and might stick to the bottom of your iron, which you don't really want. So having your Teflon sheet over the top will just protect your iron, but it still gives enough heat to bond that piece onto there. So it's the rough side onto the wrong side of your fabric. That's always good to remember. Do not put it rough side up because that's the adhesive and that sticks to your iron, and that's really annoying.
We've done that on air.
We have.
Just to show you, just be authentic, you know, just in the interests of being authentic, we too have bonded pieces to the iron. In fact, I think we did that week before last week, don't even know. It was very recently.
So you will have all your pieces. I'm sort of skipping a step ahead here really by showing you this because the first thing you're going to do is I'm going to just roughly cut around that, and then we'll go back to the way of doing it. But I just wanted to show you how the Bonder web works and how the templates work and how it all goes together. So you'll make your template here, you'll have trimmed it and stuck it together, and you'll have all the lines joining up, and you will then need to trace this onto the calico. which I haven't done all of it. I've just, as I said, I'm going to concentrate on the face. But you can see there, just used an ordinary pencil. Now I taped the template up to the window and then take the calico over the top. If you've got a light box, then you can do it.
I do have a
your
light box, Jane. It is one of those things, once you've bought it, you've got it, and oh, I love my light box. Got a nice big flat one.
Yeah.
Put it on, and I can trace, and it sounds silly. These sorts of activities I love.
Yeah.
Because you get to do some tracing, cutting and sticking, all the things you did as a child that you
Yes.
loved. Who doesn't love a bit of cutting and
This
sticking?
is my original, and I got 2 sketchbook pieces. And then once I'd done it, didn't realise that this was actually slightly bigger than A3, and that's why you've got the 5 templates. But it does give you a clear image.
Well, it also means the way that we've done it in the 5 templates that we have been able to put this up as a digital file.
Yeah.
So international
easy.
viewers,
Yeah, you can
for
get
once,
this.
something with a massive template, you're going to be able to join in. To a
But you
retro
can see, I mean, this calico is actually, you can see it through without putting it on the window, but it does make it easier to trace it through. So I've traced him through, and I've numbered the pieces on his face. And so then once you've done that, you will then go to your templates, your sheets of templates, and you will trace those onto your Bonder web. Make sure you put the numbers on the back of your Bonder web so that you know which piece is which to go where.
Lovely.
Otherwise you might get a little bit lost.
Yeah. Jane, if
Try
you were
to make
going
it
to
as
make
simple as
multiples of
possible.
these, you know, it might be that someone wants to make these to sell because they are a beautiful piece.
Yes.
We're fine with that.
Yeah.
We are very happy for you to make these and sell. And if you did want to make them to sell, and you're going to be cutting these out quite often, then you might want to get some template plastic.
Yeah.
That might be a thing.
Template plastic is really handy to have.
Just to give yourself nice reusable templates
Yeah.
that you can see through.
This was a very quick trace over this morning, so it's a little bit rough, but it gives you the idea, and you can see I've done the annotations there with the numbers. So you will trim your fabric now with the Bonder web on the back. You will trim it now on the drawn line. And I suggest that you keep you can either put them in number order, but I will warn you that there's not really much of a number order system on the on the actual
A little bit like an advent calendar when you're trying to find
template.
out where your next chocolate is.
Gemma and
So
I
that's
had
part of
really
the
good
fun,
fun
isn't
when
it?
I said to Gemma, can we just check that I have traced all the templates onto the sheets?
It's like bingo.
It was like bingo. I was like, can't find that, hang on, I need to find it.
It's all right.
There is no method. I don't know why it's not in numerical order. It just isn't. It's just the way my mind
I
works.
suppose you get a little insight into the magical, creative world of Jane's brain.
So I'm just going to talk to you now about the eyes. I layered up the eyes separate to the actual design. In other words, I made the eyes separately. Just felt that it would be easier to do that than to try and do it on top of the big piece of fabric first, because you're using quite tiny pieces. And I'm just going to talk to you about that. So I'm just trimming round the eye shapes. So I've got a layer of white, which are the 2 pieces there. And this is when they all fell on the floor. There it is. Oh. And then I've got a green one. You've got all the templates there to do this, but I think this makes it just slightly easier because they're quite fiddly, and if you do the eyes separately, it just makes life easier for you, I think.
Jane, I've just realised, sorry, I missed a question earlier.
All right.
Although I have to say, Brenda's popped in as well and said, morning ladies, sorry I'm a bit late, but oh, I love what you're showing us today. Don't we all? Sue asked, were you drawing on the paper side or the glue side of the Bonder web?
On the
It's
paper side,
wasn't
yes. You want to draw on the paper side.
Mm-hmm.
If you draw on the glue side, when you come to stick that onto your fabric, you'll lose all your markings.
Yeah.
So you draw onto the paper side and you stick the glue side down onto the wrong side of your fabric.
Yeah, this is the main question we've got going on here. So Leslie says, I missed the first bit. Did you trace onto the smooth side of the Bonder web? Yes, the paper side, not the bumpy adhesive side.
Yeah.
Also, is there a danger of cutting the pieces in effect back to front? You've done the pieces in reverse so that it works with Bonder web, haven't you?
Yes.
So if you're tracing them as they are, tracing onto the paper side, adhering onto your fabric,
They
and
will
then
be in
cutting
the
them round, they'll be in the correct orientation to go with your template that
Yes.
you've created.
Your
So-
template sheets,
Mhm.
the ones that you're going to have to join together, they are in the same orientation as I'm doing now. So when you trace on that, you'll get the fox looking the same direction as he is on the picture. So you put those all together and you put your calico on top of that and trace that through. The colour templates, well, they're not colour, but the ones that say the colours on the top, these ones, these are done in reverse, so that when you trace over on the paper side of your Bonder web, adhere that to the reverse of your fabric and then cut it out. It's going to then be in the right orientation. This is the number 17, the white bit here.
So you have reversed everything for them,
Yes.
Jane. If then someone wanted to use a different bonding agent, like
Steamer
steamer
seam.
seam, for
Yeah.
example, where you don't have a paper carrier,
You've got two paper sides on steamer
well,
seam.
yeah, it's like you don't have
Yeah.
the reverse situation, do you?
You don't have the reverse situation, but if you trace the templates in the same way, you just take off the backing paper
Correct
and stick
side.
it onto the... So even when you do it in reverse, it'll still work
Yeah.
because you've got two pieces of paper. So you take the paper side off, put it on your fabric, cut round the template, and then it'll stick onto here.
Right.
So it still
Good.
works.
You've got the two bits of paper.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. We trust you, Jane.
Or you can use your main template and trace it over the right way round.
Yeah, that's another option too.
So you've got your white pieces for the backs of the eyes. I'm going to put those on there. I'm going to use the fusing mat. This is where it really comes in handy.
Love the fusing mats.
These are really great.
Now these, traditionally, we've bought baking sheets and all sorts of bits and bobs, but what they've done here is very, very clever. You've got the fusing mat and you've got the matching non-stick sheet that is exactly the same size. The non-stick sheet you can see through as well, which you can't see through a lot of them, can you? You stand a
No.
Teflon sheet, you have to sort of guess. But this you can see through as well, which is very, very clever. So to have that as a duo is good. Now we did manage to get a decent price on these, so we have brought them to you an introductory price that is excellent.
Now I'm taking the paper off the green, and when I remove the paper, I go into the middle of the paper and just get my pin, use a pin, get my pin under there and just give it a wiggle and it'll pull that paper off. I don't recommend having it on the edge of trying to use your nail on the edge, because you're very likely, if you're trying to get your nail underneath the paper here, you're very likely going to fray your fabric.
That's no fun at all. That just makes you cross.
It just doesn't give you a nicer
You can
finish.
warp the shape of your tiny pieces as well, can't you, if you twiddle about with them too much like
Yeah.
that and start picking and pulling and...
So just placing those, put them around the right way, placing those green pupil shapes over the top of my eyes, like so. And as I say, because we're using small pieces, having the sheet on here will really help. I can just
Of course you
pull up
can.
the iron. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no bother.
Just press that down.
Perfect.
We can leave that out of the way.
The eyes have it, Jane.
And then we'll put the black part of the
Yeah.
pupil in there. This is the most fiddly bit of the whole thing.
Well, that
So
tells
if
you
you
what
think,
a nice simplistic make it is.
so if you're thinking, oh God, this is a bit, don't worry.
Fiddly-faffy.
It is.
This is the fiddliest,
This
faffiest
is
bit.
this is the worst, if you like, the worst bit. I have left on the back of here at the moment, I have left the papers on the back of the white. With this fusing mat, you could actually take the papers off because it won't fuse to the mat. So you've still got, you could have taken the papers off, but I'm leaving them on for now because I'm going to go back to do the eyes, put them in place in a moment after I've done everything else.
Wonderful.
So those are my eyes done, but they've still got the paper on the back at the moment on the white bit, ready for fusing on.
Excellent.
Now, I would recommend that you do this on your ironing board.
Okay.
And don't put everything on and then carry the thing to the ironing board and it all floats off.
Ask us how we know, Jane. How many times have you been prepping in that there back room and then brought things up to the front here, not using Mrs. Doyle the trolley, and then you've got here and gone, hang on, I've lost a piece.
Something's
and it's
gone.
it's fluttered away and floated off.
Something's floated off here. Now, the numbers on here do not give you a number order for fusing things on.
No.
This is just like a paint by numbers, just to identify the areas that you need to cover. I would recommend just having a look at the picture and having a look at how the bias tape works and how and which bits you're going to put on first. This is the way I did it. You might think, actually, I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to start somewhere else and I'm going to maybe work from the top and work down, and that's perfectly fine.
You've got your lovely big picture of him on the front page, and then you've got another one further on in the pattern to refer to as well, haven't you, Jane?
Absolutely.
So you've made sure you've got those pictures. And yeah, it is paint by numbers at that point, isn't it?
It is. So the only thing I haven't got a number on is the nose, and that's quite straightforward. It says nose on the template.
And it's the black triangle.
Yeah.
There isn't any more black pieces apart from those tiny pupils.
So I did start with the face. I've got this thing that I can't... it sounds weird, but no. I don't like to have a face without any eyes on it.
That's okay.
Now that's weird because I like the willow tree figurines.
Yes.
I love those. I think they're really pretty.
Those.
But if I'm making something that has a face,
no, it's got to have. Yeah.
I've got to do the face first and more or less finish it.
You know, a lot of artists will start with the eyes on something because they can work from there. It just personalises it straight away, doesn't it?
Yeah. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to remove your paper pieces. You're going to lay them over the top of the area they need to fill, like so. Now you can see on this, as I said, I was doing this rather quickly this morning. Don't worry, you want to do them one at a time. So do one piece. And this is why I say do it on your ironing board.
So
have all your pieces.
You can see through that mat.
Yeah, it is, because you can make sure it hasn't moved.
Yeah, and they do, don't they? Pieces
do move. Keep losing my pin.
It's so frustrating when that happens. You put down your your Teflon mat or whatever, and then you look back again, and it moved as I put the mat down, and I couldn't see it. You know.
So piece 5 goes over the top there.
Lovely.
And that's part of the eye. And this is piece 7, which sits on top of there.
Great stuff.
Your pieces go against each other. There might even be a little piece of gap.
So easy just to go straight
I
in with
know,
the iron,
and then
isn't it?
you wreck your iron. Natasha would love me for that, wouldn't she?
Yeah, little bits of adhesive can escape out the sides if you don't have your mat in the way, and that's just why it's... I mean, you can do it without the mat, but why would you get adhesive on your mat when you've got a mat to hand?
Well, you
On
know,
your iron, sorry.
you want to
Get adhesive
protect
on
your iron, don't you? It's
Yeah.
a valuable piece of kit,
Yeah.
really.
It certainly is.
You might find you get a little piece that overlaps like that. That doesn't matter too much. You don't want it overlapping too much. If you find that you've traced it a slightly wider, as have I, you can always just trim that back. You shouldn't have to do this because I took a lot more time making the templates than I did this morning tracing mine off.
Mm-hmm.
So that will sit on that piece there, just underneath there and just around there. Now, there are gaps. You will have gaps.
Don't panic.
Don't worry that you're doing it wrong if you have gaps, because your bias tape is going to cover that gap over. What you don't really want is you don't want them overlapping, because it will add a bulky edge for your bias. I'm now going to put my eyes on because I can't bear
I can't bear to proceed any further without
without the
giving
eyes.
Ferdinand his eyes.
Yeah.
Then he can watch you through the whole of the rest of the process.
And you can still see on here, I can see anyway, where my pencil line is for the eyes underneath the white. Now, I chose not to put the bias tape around the eyes, the actual eyes themselves. I just did it sort of like his eyelashes, eyebrows. And I've free motion stitched. I just felt that it just needed the free motion just to add an outline, and I felt that the bias tape was too heavy and too thick to go around the actual eye. And then it's a case, and the only thing I did differently as well is with the ears. So like you can see on my template here, on my drawing, the black part is a thin line. Well, I decided that I wouldn't do that shape with the black. I would do the whole ear. And there was a reason behind this, because I felt I didn't want that to be fiddly. 3 reasons actually. 2, I didn't want to have the bias tape between the black and the white.
There was me saying there was no more black pieces. The inner ear, look. There
Yeah.
it is. But they're big gold triangles.
They're big
and then
triangles,
the nose is a
yeah.
little teeny-weeny triangle, so, you know,
So
you can differentiate between them.
I did a whole piece of the ear, and the template reflects this. The templates that you've got on your sheets, they reflect that it's a whole triangle, even though the drawing on the template you're going to draw onto your calico will have the small piece. And also, I liked the effect that with the white on top of the black, it sort of made it off-white.
Nice.
Which gave it a sort of shading to his ears,
Yeah.
which gave it a depth. So it's a bit of a case of lining it up and just deciding where you want it to be. I think I've just got that up slightly wrong on there. That's it. So there was thought that went into it. I've lost my pin now. Put it down.
What, your sacrificial pin?
Yeah.
For scratching purposes. Is it going to be underneath this piece, just slightly? Or underneath the mat?
Where's that gone?
Oh, I can grab
Just
the other
had
one.
it. Oh, it's
Yeah,
here, look.
it is.
It's here.
Oh, all right. Straight in
I bet
front
everybody was
of
shouting,
your
it's in
face.
front of you.
Yeah, it happens.
I think what I've done is I haven't reversed my template this morning when I was doing this, because I was trying to do it so quickly. I did it over the top of the and the wrong way round, that's what it is. This is what happens when you don't reverse your templates.
This is
I
what
tried to
happens
be
when you
clever.
don't use the instructions and you've
Yeah.
quickly just traced them off the
I
base.
traced it off the base
Which would have been
template.
fine if you were using steamer seam, because you could, like you said, just rip the other side of the
Yeah.
paper off, etc. Get the hats.
So there we are. We've got
It's
his
coming
ears
together,
now.
isn't
You
he?
can start to see him.
This is one of those projects that I feel you need to take photos as you go along.
Yes,
I think
to show
it'd be
you
really,
development.
really nice for anyone who sees it made to say, oh gosh, you could show little bit by little bit as he builds up.
Yeah. So now, those are the most tricky, intricate parts, I suppose.
Mhm.
And really it is just working your way round now, just filling in. This is piece 1. You might sometimes go to take your paper off and you realise that it's actually bringing the adhesive off at the same time. If it does that, just take it back to the iron and re-iron it. It's just that it has, the heat's not caught and it hasn't melted the bonding part. Just trying to find the piece there.
It's all right.
This is why you have to number
I could
everything.
hear the clunking in your head from here, Jane.
I know, it's hard, isn't it? It's terrible. So everything is just sitting against each piece. There's slight gaps. And again, as I say, don't worry too much about the gapping because your bias tape will cover any gaps. And you can layer this up, particularly with the Teflon sheet now. You can layer it up before, you don't have to do each piece one at a time. You can just work your way round.
Jane,
layering
we have just got one of the Deco Rose kits left. I will aim to get some more of the bias tape going forward to be able to make some more of those, but there's no guarantees. So if it is something you've got in your basket, the Pink Rose, Deco Rose kits, and you definitely want it, then just bear in mind that it's not reserved for you until you check out.
Yeah. Yeah, we were limited, weren't we, on the bias tape with those
bias
kits,
tape.
but the
Sure.
actual fabrics we can keep
Yes, absolutely.
making that kit. So, and I think we'd already checked, hadn't we, with our supplier that they got the product anyway.
We can get the Clover bias tape. As to the one that went with the Deco Rose kit, I'm not sure. They didn't have stock last I checked, so it may be that we'll have to put a different roll in that's more, more volume of tape, therefore
Yeah.
a little more money.
More expensive, yeah.
But for now,
So put that piece in.
it's very good value actually, the bigger roll, but it's be way more than you'd need for the Deco Rose project. Ferdinand's a bit greedier on the bias tape front, isn't he?
He is.
He requires more.
It's a bit more to him. Right. I'm just going to bring that down very slightly. Not worried about that gap up there. You won't have gaps like this because your templates will have been cut much more carefully and in less of a rush.
But don't be afraid of some gaps.
But don't worry about the
You've got a
gaps.
6mm bias tape that's going to go in between. That's going to fill those gaps for you. I love how quickly it comes together.
It really is.
The time-consuming part, I guess, is the tracing and
The tracing and the cutting
bonding,
out. Yeah.
getting all those bits prepared.
got-
Your prep.
Yeah.
Quite often the case, isn't it? The prep takes the longest. But it's something that you could sit and do in front of the television. You could get
Yeah,
the
I was going to
children
say
help
this is
with
a nice
it.
project, and then
Yeah.
once you've got all of that prep done, it'll come together really quite quickly. I've got the piece down the side of his face there.
I do think a stained glass technique is so beautiful, and it's such a nice, different thing to do.
It just gives a lovely effect, doesn't
Yes.
it? And then the other piece there.
I love a stained glass window. It's been one of my things that I like to have a house with a stained glass window in it. It will come one day, I'm sure.
We've got this piece that goes here. And then you're just literally building it up as you go along. you've got all your orange and your white, which forms the fox and his face and his body, and then you've got your blue, which goes in the background. As I said, your background colour, if you wanted to, and you've got fabrics in your stash, you could change it around. I was thinking, you know, if you've got some floral fabrics,
Oh, it'd be lovely.
he could be sitting in, you know, a flower bed or whatever.
I'd like to see him bumbleberried as well.
Yes.
You know, give him some texture here and there. That'd be really nice too. Yeah, there's lots of fun things you can do with this. Sylv says she's mesmerised by your witchery, Jane. We do like this. This is why we like a Stitchy Witchy Wednesday.
Yes.
Sue says that the reason you can't leave the eyes alone is because they are the windows of the soul. You can't hide emotions in the eyes.
It's
So
true.
And Jane Gray says that she loves this kind of project with minimal sewing.
Yeah.
Which is funny, isn't it? Because every now and again, even though we love to sew, it's the whole reason we're here, a minimal sewing project is actually very satisfying.
This is, and we were saying this, weren't we? This is the sort of project that you can sort of do in stages. You can do all your tracing of your templates, cut those out, take an evening to do that.
Yeah.
You could then bond it all on like this.
Yeah.
And
Or
you
a
could
little
do
bit at a time.
a little bit at a
Yeah.
time. Just keep all your little pieces safe
It is something
because they float away.
It is something that if you've got a 15-20 minute space, you think it's not worth getting all my sewing stuff out normally, wouldn't you? But with this, you could just work on a little bit.
Little bit at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
And because it's on your ironing board, you know, you could just leave it on your ironing board. It's a good excuse to not having to do the ironing.
Jane, over on YouTube, Cynthia says, I was very curious how you achieved the look of the stained glass. It's a brilliant technique. We love it. We do. Deborah says, gorgeous fabric, and it's freezing over there in Melbourne.
Oh dear.
Oh, I think SJ thinks that there's a freezing issue with the screen. I think she means freezing as in cold. Different time of year for them there. Oh, sorry, I'm late. Greetings from sunny Lanzarote. We get also.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. That's Genevieve. Very nice.
Lovely. That's gone the
Envious.
wrong way around.
Jane and I quite happily go to Lanzarote right now. That'd be all right.
Yeah.
Pina colada by the pool, Jane.
Absolutely.
We'd be about that, wouldn't we?
All about that.
Oh. We've got people saying, coming together so lovely. Sue suggesting that we should choose our retirement home based on having a stained glass window. Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. I'm just trimming this because I've obviously traced it completely wrong, but there we go. I'm going
But
to...
if you do as well, as you see, Jane
It
is
is-
finding a way.
It's easy to trace it off.
If you do as Jane did, and
Don't
not
do
as she
as-
says.
Yeah, I'm going to say, just
There
follow my templates, they
are
will
ways
fit.
around it. But yeah, just follow the templates. Jane's tried to create this morning with shenanigans that didn't involve having the templates to hand.
Well, it didn't help that I was late leaving this morning.
Oh.
Couldn't get myself out
Was
of
there a
bed.
I was going to say, was there a story to that? Just
Well, I just-
couldn't get up.
Just didn't get myself out of bed. I didn't sleep very well. I was very hot last night, which is, you know, it wasn't that warm, was it really? But I was having, I think I was having a bit of a power surge.
Oh, we love a good power surge. We are powered in this building by HRT.
Right. You will do all of your piece before you start adding the bias on.
Yes.
But we would be here till this afternoon if we
Yes.
did it. So,
Which I'm fine with. However, we've got lots to do. And you've got places to go, people.
yes. So just think about, again, look at the picture and think about the layering of this. So the fox's face comes down here, all the way around there. You're going to have to do a little bit of pleating, tucking there, and comes up along
this is
there.
a bias tape, isn't it, Jane?
Yeah.
So you can work on your curves. You don't need to worry about it being
So that's
straight
quite
edge.
a long
Yeah,
piece.
it's good, isn't it?
So think about the shorter pieces first,
Okay.
because that long piece will cover over the edges.
Look at that.
So just
Jane, just laying that tiny piece there. It's
Yeah.
like eyeliner, isn't it? Suddenly,
Yeah.
bam,
just
there's his
line
eye.
that piece up there. It's covering the gap between the two. You can always refer back to the pattern. Take your scissor and just cut that at that angle like that,
Yeah.
and just trim. If you want to, if I put my pin down again, I put it back in the pin cushion, didn't I? You can always, because you'll be on your ironing board, you can always stick a pin in it.
Yeah.
and just trim that piece there.
Your ironing board is the place, or a chunky felt mat to
Yes,
pin
we've got
down
those.
onto.
They're handy to have.
They really are.
Because this is on a bias, you can get that little bit of a curve to it.
I've only got 4 of the felt pressing mats left. They are a 10-inch by 10-inch square, so it's not big enough for the entire project, but you can lay a really decent sized piece on and pin in. So yeah, we'll make sure that those are on today's collection for you so you can find them.
So just fuse that bit down.
They did take us forever to get in, Jane, didn't they? They were supposed to be for your February block of the month.
Yeah.
But they just didn't appear for months
Just
and
supply,
months and
wasn't
months. So if they are something you want, like I say, there are only 4 left. And I won't be able to get them back in immediately. It would be a significant wait if we get them at all.
Now, I haven't talked to you about this bias tape.
No.
It's got this paper piece on. It's just like the Bonder web in effect. It's got a piece of Bonder web on the back of it,
yeah.
type style of. It's a little bit tacky, so it sort of holds in place for a little while, which is rather lovely. You will find that you get lots of little pieces like this because you keep trimming it down to do the next piece. Just put that in place. And again, as I say, you can just pop a pin in. If it feels like it's going to keep springing back on you, which it does sometimes when they're little pieces, you can just stick a pin in and hold it in place while you then iron it down. Just be careful of your fingers, obviously.
There's a wise woman. Oh, look.
So,
what a difference that makes.
Yeah.
2 tiny bits of tape.
And then looking at him, I would probably want to bring this piece all the way down like that. But actually, thinking about it, I'm going to bring it from there and I'm going to stop just here. Because looking at it, I think I want to have that piece coming from there all the way down.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, that's a good one,
So-
done, isn't it?
Because this is a little bit tacky, you can just have a little bit of a look at it and think, oh, do I want to do that? Maybe I do. Well, actually, no, I think I'm going to have the whole piece coming from there.
Oh, it's lovely.
And you work your way round, and you're just trimming.
Jane just had the most glorious suggestion.
Have you?
Oh, yes. Jane Gray says, I would love to see a tiger done like this.
Oh my
hint, hint, hint.
Gosh, yeah. Do you know,
Yeah.
I was thinking about a badger.
Oh, beautiful. But
I mean, it would be
tiger.
very black and white, wouldn't it?
But a tiger.
Yes, a tiger
I'd
would
have
be
so much fun with that.
absolutely
We will pop that
lovely.
into our list of ideas. And actually, if there's anything that you guys think, oh, I'd like to see that. Maybe you're out and about and you take a beautiful photo of something and you think, oh, I wonder if someone clever could turn that into a quilting block or, whatever. We can't guarantee anything. We can't. But if you send your ideas in to us at info@natashamakes.com, we'll keep them in our ideas book and we'll pull from those.
So you're just
never
working
know.
your way across, and you can see that this piece of tape here is covering over that raw edge of this bias tape here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to sit there, but that piece that comes round will sit over that. So we can just press that down.
Brilliant. So just keep working on all those curves and
You
seeing
can,
him
because
come to
it's,
life.
yeah, as it's a bias tape,
yeah,
it just works really nicely.
great. Sue Langford said she'd like Jason Momoa to work on her curves.
Wouldn't we all?
I think it'd be Jude Law in your house.
I wouldn't say no to Jason Momoa.
No, I don't think anyone would. Sylv Sparkley says, I like to call them tropical moments, Jane.
Yes.
That over warm sensation. I love tropical moments. I shall use that one myself.
It's just so frustrating because you get hot, you throw the covers off, you get cold, then you need a wee, then you need a drink.
Yeah.
Then you get hot again. It's just
I
like,
fell asleep
really?
on the sofa, Jane. I fell asleep on the sofa with 2 Dachshunds and woke up at about 5:30 this morning. I went, oh, okay. There we go.
I love that guy just leaves you there.
I know. Well, he left me there because I was watching a programme. And he was like, I'm going to bed. Come on, come to bed. And I was like, no, I must see this last episode. Of course, I fell asleep during the last episode. Completely pointless activity. But I shall watch it back later. It was rather good. It's called For Her Sins.
Oh, I've seen that advertised.
Seen it? Oh, it's good.
So this piece now is going to come all the way from there, all the way around. It's covering over these raw edges here, and it's coming round and down to the nose. Now, you may put your nose on and you think, hang on, this nose is wider than this edge piece here. Mm-hmm. I did it because, again, I didn't want to put the tape, the fusible tape, all the way around the nose. No. And I actually did a satin stitch around the nose to hold him on.
Yeah.
So just snip that.
This makes these pieces.
It's just coming around, and it's lovely that this tape has that little. It's not very tacky. Don't think it's going to hold it down while you do the whole thing. No. And I do recommend that you do it a little bit at a time like this.
Yeah.
Just taking your time and working your way through. Now you might think, hang on, Jane, you've gone all the way down on this. What about, wouldn't you have stopped there so that the next one just goes over? You're okay to go over the top.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering. Oh, well, that's fabulous.
I just don't do it in too many places because you're going to get a lot of bulk. But for like that, to cover over those edge pieces there, that's just going to give you enough. And as I said, if it starts to move and you haven't got enough fingers to hold it, just stick a pin in.
Yeah.
You can pin it along there, just to hold it while you then come down here, because it's really annoying when you think you've cut enough and then you put it down and you go to iron it and it's a little bit short. That's me how I know.
Jane, I can see why you were thinking badger. Auntie Lizzie says that's the badger, as Natasha says.
Yes.
It's me that says that's the badger. She tends to say that's the monkey.
Yes.
But I always say that's the badger.
I was thinking woodland animals, you see.
Yeah, well, Sylv's saying a skunk would be great too.
Oh, yes.
But first, a heffalump.
Oh, yes, a heffalump.
We love a heffalump, we do. Sue Langford says a lighthouse. It would be good.
Oh, yes, a nice seaside scene would be lovely.
And Wendy says that she loves your precision, Jane. We all love Jane's precision.
So now I'm going to come from here and I'm going to do this curve round here. Now, you are going to get little pleats in this because it's quite a tight curve around his muzzle. So just use your finger and you'll see you can get a little pleat there and maybe one in the middle, and then come round and you might get a third one. The thing is that we're going to sew over the top of this tape, so those little pleats, not only do they iron down, but they also will just, be sewn over anyway, so they don't look too bad.
Looks amazing.
That's just going to come round there and cover over that piece there.
Julia's watching the programme I'm watching as well. She says she's 2 episodes in. I've done 3, Julia. I've done 3. I've just got to do the last one. Oh, you can just tell, can't you? She's a wrong one. You can just tell. Dear me.
Just take your time round that tight curve there.
Beautiful.
With those little pleats in.
Yeah.
And just.
The pleats aren't a problem, Jane.
No, they're not, because it still sits flat.
Yeah.
And as I say, we're going to sew it round anyway. Just going to move.
Sounds obvious, but it does sit flatter when it's had an iron popped on it as well.
Yes. And as I say, just mind your fingers as you're ironing. If you've got one of those little prim irons, they're ideal.
Yes.
And you can get little tiny clover irons, which are even...
that are like super duper, like as in this big, aren't they?
Yeah, they're literally
Tiny,
little...
yeah.
And they're ideal for this kind of work. They really are.
So if you've got one of those in your stash and think, well, why did I ever buy that? I've never used it. This is your moment. Jane, it's at this point that you see why, when you've been placing your big pieces and you've had gaps and you've gone, oh no, there's a gap, oh no. It was a completely pointless activity to get upset or worried about it, because
now
they're all hidden.
I've come to this bit and I'm thinking, really, I should have put those pieces down before I did the one round the curve.
Mm-hmm.
Because we haven't sewn it yet, you can put your pin underneath.
Wow.
Take your piece of tape, and if you put your sticky pin in it, you can just shove it
Brilliant.
underneath and re-iron it.
Jane, that's brilliant.
Now, what I will say is, if you keep ironing this, sometimes it will lose its adhesive.
Okay.
If it does that, get your glue stick pen.
Okay.
Your sew line glue stick, and just re-stick it.
We have those back in stock as well.
Because they always come in handy.
For the first time since, well, last year. But we have more than one type of fabric adhesive pen. But they are very, very useful. And if you have got the sew line glue pen and you're a little bit miffed because you haven't been able to get the refills,
We have them
back. But crikey bobs, they are not the easiest thing to get hold of.
It's really hard to get sew line, isn't it?
Oh, honestly.
So you can, this is what I'm saying, is if you think when you're halfway round something and you think, oh, I should have done that line, I should have tucked that under there, you have got that opportunity to just lift it slightly with your pin and poke it underneath and iron it back down again. Just give that a bit of a... You'll get so far and you'll end up with all this tape, so just rip it off and just put it to one side with all your papers and everything. And you just keep working your way around. So I'm just going to iron that piece on, and then I'm going to show you how I fixed it on. I used a zigzag stitch.
Oh, nice.
And just did it wide enough to cover the tape. So I took a piece of the tape and a piece of scrap cloth, just a little bit of scrap and a piece of tape about 3 inches long, ironed that down onto my piece of scrap.
Yeah.
And then took it to my sewing machine, set my zigzag stitch, and then I could work out how wide. Come on, machine. That's it. Got the foot the wrong way around.
Oh yeah, don't do that. Your foot pedal. Oh yes, it's snuck off under the desk now.
Yeah, decided it's going that way. And you can adjust then. I'm quite happy with the width of this. You can adjust it. You can take your zigzag width narrower or wider. Take that up a little bit. You just want it to sit just inside the bias tape.
Lovely.
You don't need it to be too close together, so you can lengthen the stitch so the zigzag's quite wide apart. And once you're happy that you've got the right width and size stitch, you can just take your Fox to the machine, and then you just work your way around, just zigzagging over the top. And this just completely makes sure that everything is held down. And you can see that I have done it in as many sort of like large curved shapes as I can. When you look at it, it sort of gives the effect of lots of circles going together on the overall thing, so that you can do quite a lot of sewing all in one go without having to do a lot of stopping and starting. And you can see I've gone over that one. Well, when I come to do the other side, it's okay to stitch over the top of that line of stitching. So you just carry on. For the nose, I'm just going to look on here, see if there is a satin stitch. I don't think there is, because on mine there isn't a satin stitch, no. So all I did was I took my zigzag stitch and made it quite short and quite narrow. And I just went around the edge of the nose with a satin stitch, because I didn't want it to be as big as or as wide as the buyer's tape. And I did it in 3 sections, so I stopped on the top, along the top there, and then I went down the one side not quite to the point, so I stopped just before the point, and then I went along the other edge starting at the point, and that way I didn't end up with sort of losing the point on his nose. And then when it came to doing the free motion around the eyes, I put my darning foot on. Let's take the whole thing off with this. Now, if you didn't want to do this little bit of free motion stitching, you could always use your fabric marker pen to do the line around the pupil.
Oh yes, of course.
Or you could do it by hand.
Yes.
You would really need to put some sort of stitch down just to hold it, even if you just put a stitch through the 3 layers of the pupil, just to hold it through.
Yeah.
I'll just bring that up onto the front there and you can see that. If you just did a little stitch through those 3 layers, that would just be enough to hold the eye down. So free motion stitching, talked about this before, you need to bring the bobbin thread up to the top. So you place your needle where you're going to think you're going to start, drop your needle, using the hand crank at the side, just bring the needle down to where you think you're going to start, drop your needle in, let it come up, and then just give it a tug and it will bring the bobbin thread up. Just give that a pull, then drop the needle back down. Might want to use your hand crank at the side, just so that it comes back where you started. Lift the foot up and you can use a pin or your unpicker and just grab those 2 threads under the foot and put them behind. And then you can go, oops, oh, still on zigzag. Ha!
Oh,
Straight
yeah.
stitch.
Don't want that.
Do you want zigzags? So you can just go around the edge of the eye like so, just across the top, quite close to the edge of the bias tape, and then into the pupil and around the pupil. And you can do that a couple of times if you wanted to, or just once. You might feel once is enough, and then do the same with the other eye. Just need my pin. Just need to grab my thread to the top there. So grabbing my top thread, using the hand crank at the side, just dropping my needle into where I think I'm going to start. Drop my foot, drop my needle in, drop my needle out, and then just grab that bobbin thread and give it a pull. If I can get hold of it. Sometimes it helps to have a pair of tweezers by the side of you when you're doing this, just so that you can grab that bobbin thread. Take my needle back in, just lift the foot and grab those two threads and bring them underneath and behind the foot. And I did the same just around the ears. Now, you don't have to do it with your free motion foot around the ears because it's quite a big space, so you could just do your regular straight stitch around the edge if you wanted to. But with your free motion stitching, you can do that sort of double sketchy line. So if it's not quite straight, press the wrong one there. Press the
all right.
cutting thread instead of the...
This is what happens when you've got the all singing, all dancing sewing machine.
Yes, just one button away from the...
I do it so many times because it's so automatic for me to press that thread cutting button that I'll need to drop the needle or drop the foot and I press the thread cutter.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
Yeah, I've all done it.
So just bring that up. Put my needle back in. Take those two threads. Oops. Behind. Now I just did around the two sides of the ears. I didn't do along the bottom edge because that's going to be covered over with the bias tape, so you're going to zigzag over that anyway.
Yeah.
So I just went quite close to the edge on there. And just a double line, and then if it is a bit wobbly, it looks like it's sketched and it's meant to be that way. I think my bobbin thread's just run out. So we'll stop there. But that's
Jane says,
the finishing techniques of that.
Gorgeous. Jane says putting the tape on is like working on a puzzle with only half the picture, Jane.
Yes.
That's what she says. Should go overhead actually, have a little peep at him, see how he's looking. There we go.
So you can see he's coming together quite well. I think I've got one eye higher than the other.
That's all right.
But that's, you know.
Rarely are things in nature completely symmetrical.
You will look at that before you actually sew it down and make sure it's all together.
It's okay.
You can just pull the threads then to the back.
Auntie Lizzie loves him. She says, oh, I love him. I love him. Shut the front door, that's clever, she says as well.
I bonded him onto Styleville Fix once I'd finished him.
Okay, yeah.
Just to give him that extra oomph for as a hanging.
Auntie Lizzie says, how would it look if you're quilting at the same time with a squishy backing? And you use Styleville Fix, but you haven't had that underneath whilst doing the stitching on of this.
You could put a wadding on the back, and when you're doing your zigzag, you could quilt him at the same time.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. Did I quilt him? Yes, I went round his actual shape of the fox. So
Nice.
I bonded him onto Styleville Fix.
Okay, after you'd completed all of this process of putting your pieces on, of putting your bias tape on, and
doing all the extra
bonding and
sewing
stitching.
and everything.
All
So
the sewing's done. Then you
once all of that's done, I bonded him onto Styleville Fix, cut it the same size as the piece of calico.
And Jane, if someone wants to do that and wants to use Styleville Fix, now we haven't put it in the kit just simply because you might have a different preference. Maybe you want something softer, you want to use something like an 8630 or 8640, or you know, maybe just want to use some wadding and have it really soft.
Yeah.
So we haven't put that in. They'd only need 1/2 metre, wouldn't they, for this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I to finish him off. I did a technique that I learnt quite a while back, so that you don't have a turning through gap on the side. Now, I haven't cut my piece of calico the right sizes, so you would have 2 pieces of calico. I've got the sizes in the pattern.
All the measurements are in the pattern. I was about to say, please don't worry about that.
You will press one of the edges over about 1 inch. Press it over like so. And then you would put the other piece, let's pretend this is the other piece of calico, over the top like so.
With no fold?
With no fold in it. Then you would sew through the 3 layers. So you've got it's bonded onto your Styleville Fix or whichever wadding you're going to use. You may have even already quilted through. You can see the edge of your pattern through this. I mean, you can see his face through the fabric. So then I sewed all the way around.
Oh, the big oval.
The oval shape along the outside. I was trying to catch in the fabrics, but I wasn't too worried if I didn't, because I'm still going to bind it. I can then trim that against the edge of that line of stitching, and then I can pull it through on this gap here.
Yeah.
So I pull it through there.
Okay.
So I haven't got a gap on the edge, but I've got to then try and fold it all in and hand sew it down.
Okay.
So the gap is then effectively on the back. Once you've pulled it through, you've got that effect. So you've got that folded edge then that you can then hand stitch. That would be on the back of your project.
Wow, that's a bit clever, Jane.
So you can hand stitch that little bit down. And then after I'd done that, I quilted through the 3 layers around the shape of the fox.
Okay.
But I could have done that before I did the turning through.
Yeah.
Making your bias tape to go around the edge of your wall hanging, you're going to have a fat quarter of black. Now I've been cutting...
And your binding, so your binding needs to be a biased binding. You
yes.
can't just use a straight
You can't
cut
use a straight edge
binding.
one because
Okay.
you've got the curve.
Great.
So you will have your fat quarter nicely pressed and everything else. Now, did I bring the long ruler in? Yes, I did. That's enough. I remembered.
Hooray!
You've got your 45-degree line on your ruler here. We'll put it over there's a 45-degree line there, and it says 45 degrees on it.
Marvellous.
You will line that up with the corner of your fat quarter, and you will cut a line across there. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Auntie Liz is saying, I must have gone loopy. I would quite like to do this project all by hand after doing the Baltimore.
Yes.
Auntie Lizzie has been making beautiful Japanese
You could
Baltimore blocks
have-
for us, and you could do this.
You could sew
Or
this
someone needs
bias.
a new blade.
Yeah, you could sew this bias tape. It's the one out of the box. I didn't bring mine in.
Jane, this is one of those how to tell me you need a new blade without
telling me. Yeah. So you've now got your 45-degree line, and so you measure your 2.5 inch strip. So from that cut edge, you're going to line the 2.5 inches against that cut edge, and you're going to cut your strip. You're going to need 2 strips. You might even need 3. So you can cut 1 strip from that side and 1 strip from this side, because you'll get 2 nice long pieces then. You'll join them together with your 45-degree seam. You've already got a 45-degree lines, so
Yeah.
you can join them
Easy peasy.
straightforward enough. If that was another 45, you'd be joining them like so.
Marvellous.
Just make sure that you've got that 1/4 inch overhang. Don't line them edge to edge, because when you come to pull them down, you can see how that steps down. You just need to offset it by 1/4 inch. You'll then fold that in half. You'll have your raw edge. You place your raw edge against the edge. Now, this edge is already going to be turned in and turned under, so you might decide that you don't want to do a biased edge around it, but I just felt it finished it off quite nicely.
No, I think that's wise.
So you'll just sew your 1/4 inch in along the edge, like you would do with your quilts, but because this has got a bias to it now, it'll just curve around that shape nicely, and then you can bring that to the back and hand sew it down like you would do.
Amazing. Fabulous.
So I think I've covered out all the more complicated parts of the pattern. It's a very straightforward technique, and I think it's like painting by numbers.
It really is like painting by numbers, and you know, seeing that bias tape go on so simply as well, which is, I think,
That is
the
because
one
you
place
worry
that
that you
think,
think
oh,
it's going to
no.
be quite fiddly.
Yeah,
But as I say to you, you know, if it won't stay down, if you've got it on and you've ironed it maybe a few times in the same place and it starts to lose its adhesive, just get some your sewn line pen,
yeah,
Pritt stick, anything just to hold it down.
bit of adhesive.
Bit of adhesive while you're then finishing him off.
Yeah, lovely.
But I did all the sort of stripes around to this point, and then you're able to do like one continuous piece all the way around the edge here. Goes all the way, that line you see goes from down here all the way around and then up
that's
to there.
So, that must be so satisfying.
Yes. I tried, when I was designing it, I tried to keep
Yeah.
the most of the lines in a continuous
Brilliant.
sweep so that it
Yes.
was given a nice gentle curve
Yes,
each
because
time.
you haven't directly copied the beautiful stained glass panel.
No.
So you've used it for inspiration, and that's where you've gone with this, is you're trying to think, right, well, where's this bias tape going?
Yeah,
You've been
You
very
can
clever with
see
this,
that piece there goes all the way around
Yes.
down to there.
Oh, very
This piece
stylish.
here
Yeah.
comes all the way around to there.
Okay.
This piece goes from there all the way up to there.
Ah.
And this is what I say about looking at the lines on it
Yes.
and seeing, you know, that piece goes all the way around there, that piece goes all the way there.
Yeah.
You can cross it over. Don't be frightened to have a piece crossing over. It's only these small pieces here.
I think this looks like lots of pieces and lots of places you'd need to put bias tape, but actually, when you see it like that and you see how quickly it applies and stitches, you
Yeah.
realise that
That
it's not a
piece
complicated
there's
process at all.
all the way around there.
There's not as many pieces to put on as you once thought. You know,
No,
if it was going to be all of these pieces individually,
no.
that's
I've tried to make it so it's sweeping gentle curves and long pieces. That piece goes all the way up there. This piece comes all the way around
Yeah,
down there. So
marvellous.
that's the effect I was going for, that it was sort of all curves and he was sitting in an oval.
Yeah.
You could always use this as a centerpiece for a quilt.
Oh, it would be stunning, wouldn't
So
it?
if you were thinking that and you were thinking, right, well, I'm going to have, I don't know, a coloured piece here, you could use that coloured piece as your backing, or you could sew this then onto that backing piece
Amazing.
and have him as in a square frame.
Marvellous. Oh, Jane, you give us all these top tips and tricks.
Yeah.
Do you know, Pat Williams has said, what a great tip on the turning through gap. It's always tricky to get it on a smooth curve.
Yeah,
So yeah, thank you for that one. That's clearly something that's been appreciated.
Yeah. it always helps.
It's just nice to have a little peep into your brain sometimes.
Yes.
You get these little nuggets of information
Yeah.
that you perhaps wouldn't have otherwise thought of.
You can
Natasha
see,
has
I-
appeared as well, so she is
I
watching.
quilted him after I'd done the layering, and you
Yes.
can see my pull-through gap there, which I've
Yes.
hand-stitched down.
Yes. But you've literally just gone around the edge of him to just
Yeah.
realise we're not in overhead, are
Oh,
we? So
no.
no one can see that. I'm busy looking. Oh, I can see it.
In an ideal world, I would have chosen a beige thread in my bobbin
Yes.
so he didn't show so easily. But as he's going to be hanging against the wall,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter.
Nope. And also,
But that's all the quilting I did on him.
when you use a dark thread, everyone at home can see as well.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot easier to be seen, which is always good.
But you can see why I chose Styleville Fix, because it gives it that bit of firmness. So he really hangs nicely, doesn't he?
He is lovely. He really is. Jane Vivesh says, clever stuff, more tips from the Stitchy Wicks, which, actually,
Ow.
Bridget, you might not want to put that up.
No.
Bridget says, how did you hang your finished fox? You've tapped
Oh, well, it's just a
tab, haven't you?
It's very...
At the moment, it's pinned.
It's all pinned. But I just...
Stitch it on.
You could make, you know, with your bias tape, you could make yourself edge to edge, fold it into the middle, fold it in again, fold that over. You've got a tape there. And you could just make a loop.
You could.
It just hangs.
Alternatively, Jane, all of the calendar quilt block of the month, you've shown people how to make a hanging sleeve.
Yes.
They can then feed a wooden dowel
Yeah.
through, for example.
And because this is quite firm with the
Yeah.
Styleville Fix, you could put the sleeve sort of about there.
Yeah, and hand stitch it on.
Yeah.
And then just feed your wooden dowel through. And you'd have something then to hang
Yeah.
it with. That's another option as well. But there are...
But the clips,
and
the curtain rail clips, they're really handy for
Yeah.
hanging things through
I
as
have
well.
these on my caravan.
Yeah.
True story. Because you've got a little hook one end and clip on the other. In fact, I don't know if we can get them. These are just an Amazon purchase.
Yeah.
You can get them in big boxes. They've got a hook on one end and a little clip on
Well,
the other.
that's Swedish Furniture Company sells them as well.
They do. Yes, they do. I hang them on the awning rail, you see, and then clip my bunting on. So
Yes.
my bunting goes round my van, but they hang on the awning rail with a little hook.
Yeah.
Very handy. Oh, and fairy lights as well.
Yes.
We do these things properly in that there caravan, I tell you. So I think we've answered those two questions. Natasha's on and she's just been saying, you know, engaging with our customers. And having a chat.
Lovely. That's nice.
She's caught hold of Ginny's use of the echinacea fabrics and has been chatting with her about that. She's also caught on to the fact that Jimmy's making this fabulous soup.
Oh, right.
I'm really hungry now.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie. I was, you know, not fussed today about food. I've not been hungry all morning and now
Yes.
soup.
Soup.
But they don't do soup in the cafe.
No, they stopped doing
In
it for the summer.
We'll have to have words, I think. I
Yes.
think that's necessary. We will be back next week, of course. Now, tonight, the Half Metre Heavens will go live at midnight. Friday, you'll have your Friday deals with SJ. She's got some crackers this week. Keep an eye out for your newsletter. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, next week at 10 a.m, we will have live shows. And I believe Friday as well, because next week is the last Friday of the month, isn't it?
Yes.
So you've got a 4-show week next week.
Woohoo.
4 shows, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and
Me
pay it
on
forward.
Monday.
Jane will be here with said absolutely stunning quilt. I'm very excited about this. And you've also put it into a cushion as well, haven't you,
Yes.
Jane?
I've used the block, made it into a cushion.
I'm seeing curves here, Jane. It gives people conniptions. How scared do we need to be of these curves?
Not very scared at all.
Okay.
Not scared at all. There's a little thing with this that isn't even...
It's not even a thing.
It's not even a thing. You'll have to wait and see on
Okay.
Monday.
I'm
It's-
looking at it thinking, is this a candy medallion? Back of my brain, have I used a similar technique?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Then it's not that hard because I did it and I was a proper beginner. Excellent. I might see if I can get some fabrics out of my stash and have a go at making one of the blocks. Then we can really prove whether it's beginner proof. Because I don't sew a curve unless I have to. I'll
Yeah.
see if I get time because I've got a lot on in the next few days, but you never know. If I do, then you'll see it next week when you see Jane demonstrate this beautiful, beautiful quilt and this beautiful, beautiful cushion. Thank you for joining us. We have all the products available on our website to purchase. Please bear in mind the shows, we do not get paid for these. We bring them to you free of charge, 3 days at least a week, 4 days next week. But your purchases are what keep us here and we do appreciate every single one of them. So thank you. We're going to go and have some lunch now, Jane. I think.
Yes, I think
Is
so.
it lunchtime? Oh yeah, just about. Just
Get
about.
away with it.
Just about. Thank you very much. Take care. We will see you very, very soon. Lots of love and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.